Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to healthierlife.tv. We've got some good news and we've got some bad news. What would you like first, Warren?
The disappointing news, please.
Okay. The disappointing news is our guest has got personal challenges and cannot do it. The call today. The call was the Mystical Art of Reiki. But it still is the Mystical Art of Reiki. All right? Because I'm going to soldier on, or we are going to soldier on and do the very best that we can. So with that, Warren, what's your thoughts about Reiki? What do you know? Not necessarily details, but have you ever participated in Reiki?
Yeah, I actually have. I've had somebody do some Reiki on me, and then I attended a Reiki workshop. I was in my 20s back in South Africa, and I remember we did a practical session, and I could feel I was healing somebody's knees, their knees, and their knees. Yeah. So I was actually doing with the guidance of a Reiki teacher, and I was just using my hands, hovering over the knee, and just doing some woojie stuff. No, I was doing. I don't know what I was doing. I don't remember. It was so far back, but it was a really cool experience, knowing that because I could feel the heat generating between my hand and their knee. It was really cool.
Okay. Now, from a personal point of view, I've never had anything to do with Reiki. And I think if I did, I would probably be at the very least moaned at, because I have Raynaud's disease in my hands, which is being very cold. So they'll probably complain about the coldness. Having said that, the word Reiki means mysterious atmosphere or miraculous sign.
So, yeah, I've heard that before.
But the actual word itself comes from Japanese words, which is Rei. Do you know what that stands for?
No idea.
Universal.
Okay.
And Ki.
Which is like chi, I guess, right?
Chi is Qi.
Yeah, but it's like chi
in a sense,
I suppose.
And that stands for life energy.
Oh, life energy.
It's quite impressive, that, isn't it? Universal life energy. So Reiki is a type of energy healing. Now, before we go any further, what can you tell me about the human body? Because we're electrical beings, aren't we?
We are indeed. Our bodies can literally light up a room.
I think
light up a house, for that matter. So yeah, we are. I mean, everything is electrical energy. It's anything that is animate, that is living is electrical energy. Yeah, inanimate is energy as well. And for those people that the layman's, animate means like living source, life source. Inanimate means something like a piece of like a rock, or a piece of like a wood, like a table, a bottle, something like that. So, but everything is energy, right? It's just when it's living thing, it's electrical energy.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm glad you changed that, because in life, the human body comprises of two things: matter and energy. Okay. And because obviously the energy side of it is electrical. We talk about the impulses and signals. We did the show, was it last week, on the vagus nerve?
Yes.
Okay, so very important, because that's all electrical and signals and impulses.
Immense amount of
also chemical. So we have chemical reactions. So chemical energy is transformed into kinetic energy. So stuff that's ultimately used to power our muscles. So the reason I say that is to get people in the idea of thinking we're electrical beings. We have electrical charges around us. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to say before we started talking about Reiki, because I think it's quite important. So what else can you tell me about Reiki? What did you get from it? Have you ever had anyone do it on you?
Yes,
All right.
I have.
Okay.
I have. So and the same the same was from like what I experienced when I was doing it for a brief moment. I mean, it was like I think it was 15 minutes at the time.
Yeah.
You could feel the transference of energy. You can feel those electrical pulses. You know, that I could at least. And even when I was working with somebody healing, you know, I've been told by a healer before that I do have healing hands. Okay, which is something that I've used my hands most of my life to work on people ever since I was a kid. But it was not never something that I thought of as having healing hands until a healer told me that I do have them. But when I did this Reiki session on this individual, I could really feel the heat emanating from my hand, and I was drawing out energy from their knee. It was insane. It was absolutely incredible. Um, and this is the same thing that I remember from having somebody do Reiki on me as well. You know, it's that you could feel, I could feel that transference of energy. It was just, it was something out of this world at the time. But
Yeah.
I wasn't ready to start exploring that kind of world. You know, I was still on on that party plane.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. About. Yeah. I don't know if it's an age thing. I don't know. I don't know. Or it could be just something. The way you feel, you're probably more open to Reiki
Hmm. Hmm.
in different times of your life. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
It's going to be different for everyone. All I know is that energy healing targets the energy fields around the body.
true.
So, I mean, I suppose if you were to take it down, strip it down, because most people are skeptics, I would say. And I think we've all been skeptics. I'm a little bit better now. Okay. But I would be more open now to something like Reiki. And the reason being is that if I was unlucky enough to be diagnosed with, say, cancer, I would look at absolutely everything that I could use. You know, um, I mean, Reiki's really, really popular. There's no doubt about it. You know, but questions still remain. So you have to cover. We have to cover the whole aspect, and the reason that questions remain is because there's no high quality research into how effective it is.
Well, yes and no. Um, and this has changed in recent years because of science and technology. So now we're able to measure things in ways that we were never able to do so in the past. You understand? And this is something which I touched on. I just want to just go back from a historical perspective. Something I touched on in my live yesterday is that historically speaking, all these alternative modalities of therapy had been vilified in from a historical point of view. Okay,
Yeah.
because the church were threatened by the fact that people were able to heal other people naturally, you know, and without any interventions whatsoever. So it was deemed as being satanic and all other kinds of stuff. Okay,
Mhm.
witchcraft and whatnot. So these modalities of therapy, which have been in existence for thousands of years. Yeah, I think it's which one did it? I think pranic healing is like 4,000 years old.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
That's the
so
English one, isn't it?
yes. Now, and there's like Ayurvedic treatments as well. That's not that's Ayurvedic is different. That's an alternative therapy, but it's not dealing with energies per se.
Yeah.
Um, So a lot of these are, as I said, they are really ancient and they're old. And over the years, it's become more accepted. It's become more commonplace for people to start practicing it and that. However, for the most part, the people that have been involved in alternative therapies traditionally have been the older generations. So
Mhm. Yeah.
somebody may have been taught as a child, but they never practiced when they were younger because of the fear of being known as a healer and then being ostracized from society or whatever else. Okay, you know, chased by the church and so forth. And then only when people have become older in life, you know, more senior or more wiser, more mature, and braver in many respects, they started to kind of face that and practice. And I guess many people have also been practicing in behind the scenes for their whole lives, because many people it's been passed down from generation to generation in many cases. And then only recently now, because of science in recent times, where we are able to monitor and track things. Think about it. If you think about religion, it's it's quite ironic, because scientists don't believe in religion, yet religion is very dogmatic in the same sense as sciences. Scientists they can become very dogmatic about their belief systems and what they know as evidence, and the same applies to religion. But so now the two are starting to kind of meld together, the science and alternative therapies. And people are now becoming more accepting of it, because scientifically speaking, you can start to prove things are happening. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
So, and because of this now, the knowledge is more. It's out there now. It's more open. The knowledge of that of alternative therapies and healing practices, because it's monitored. What's that?
I'm laughing because I extracted exactly what I wanted out of you. I was being devil's advocate. Anyway, the Earth is flat. I just thought I'd let you know that. Yeah. So look, we have to. In other words, we have to be open-minded, and I mean, I've got to say, since I've been doing my research on it, I'm far more open about it now. Okay. Open to it. I was never against it or anything like that, but I'm definitely far more open to something, and I would definitely try it without a shadow of a doubt. And
I would have loved for our guest to have been here today, because I wanted to ask her some questions and just pick her brain and understand from her point of view what it's like doing that professionally, and being able to practice that and so forth, because I've always done this with people that I've had treatments from. Whenever I've been blessed enough to interact with somebody that can heal, I've picked their brains, and it's because it's interesting for me. I'm very curious about how they discover, they discover their powers and their abilities to do this. And some people just have it naturally, and then they explore it further, and they have the bravery to go out and discover what it is. And this is the other thing, is that many people do have the natural gift to be healers, but they're fearful because they don't understand, and so they never explore it. And I think this was the same with me. I knew from a young age that I could do things with my hands, but I had no knowledge. I had no idea what it was, what I was doing. And because of that, I never explored it, because nobody ever came to me and said, look, if you do this, this is what will happen for you. And I just never explored it. It's a shame.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had a phobia about my hands at one stage. I used to chase women and get slapped when I used my hands. And also, I took up boxing, and they used to hit me with their hands as well. So I had a bit of a phobia. No, I'm seriously though. I am open-minded, and regarding things like Reiki, and I always try things. I haven't yet, but I will. So I'll report back once I've done that. But have you heard about energy can stagnate?
Oh yes. And this is you and I have spoken about this, not at length in the past, but you just look at you look at what I do professionally, what I've been doing for 22 years now, and educating people about stagnation of energy in the system, in the body, and your chakras and your energy centers. Mm-hmm. And you've got pressure points that are situated throughout your body. You got multitude of pressure points that are positioned all over your system, and very often those pressure points become dams. Literally, they become dams of energy. Mm-hmm. They prevent the flow of energy from moving. And there was a was a time where, I'm using this example of an experience that I had because it was so profound for me. I injured my spine and my hips. Okay, not my spine per se, but I injured. Basically, I was in traction for just over a week, and I was paralyzed for a moment, momentarily paralyzed, and then I was in traction for a little over a week. And after I was released from hospital, I went for therapy with a Chinese doctor. Okay, this was in Dubai. I was referred to this doctor, and he's an acupressure. He does acupressure. So when you're talking about stagnated energy in your system, this guy, he used to do acupressure on me. So like kind of like acupuncture, but with your thumbs and fingers, and then stimulating those points. And I could feel the energy through my system just vibrating through my body, because sometimes he would get his hands and he would shove his hands down into my gut and massage the front of my spine. So picture I'm lying on my back. He would put his hands into my stomach and push. And he would go, Warren, you have no breakfast today. Or he asked me, Warren, what you eat for lunch today? Because he could feel the food in my stomach, or he could feel my stomach was empty. And he would.
Did you say to him, if you keep pressing my stomach, you'll find exactly what I've had for breakfast?
Yeah. No,
So,
I'm sure with my mind I did say something like that. But this was what Paul Brian says. Hi, Paul. I want you to give me Reiki treatment ASAP.
I'll give you Reiki with the rake. So
yeah, this I literally I could feel it, and you can feel when you do chakra energy work and things like that, you can feel that energy surging through your system. And you can do the same with breathing techniques as well, where you're releasing all that energy, that blocked energy.
Now, I would advise. I mean, look, with Reiki and other things, I would advise people to give it a go, because everything I've read up on is the fact that there's nothing bad about it at all. It's not. There's nobody says anything bad about it. Yeah, the only concern is whether it works or not, and I think that's why everyone should give it a go. And see for themselves. But
yeah, exactly.
You must go in with the right frame of mind, because if you go in with the frame of mind like everything else, this isn't going to work. Well, it won't work, because
don't have any expectations.
Your mind will switch off.
Yes, and your mind will prevent you from experiencing the experience, or receiving it. So don't go in with expectations, as you say. Just go with an open mind, but go for it. And whether it's Reiki, whether it's whatever, if it's an alternative therapy, give it a go. If you know somebody that does something like singing bowl therapy, crystal healing, or anything like that, pranic healing, go experience it. Find out for yourself, because otherwise you can't have a point of view. It's a sound point of view if you haven't actually experienced something like that, because it is a personal thing. For some people, they have healings and they don't feel anything until one day they wake up and all of a sudden it's like, oh, the pain is gone.
Yeah. So, I mean, when we talk about Reiki, we're talking about energy medicine. I think that's what it comes under. And it aims to really, it's all about the flow of energy. The idea is to keep it flowing, and keep it on the move, and make sure, as we say, it's not stagnated. And that, I mean, stagnated energy affects things like injuries, illnesses, emotional pain. So that it's not just one thing. They cover a whole range of things. That's before we get on
inflammation.
Sorry?
Chronic inflammation is a big part of stagnated energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get a huge buildup of inflammation in the body.
Yeah. So Reiki is also known as palm healing or hands-on healing. Although when you're talking about Reiki, I would imagine, this is my thought on the matter, that most of it is done with the hands not touching the body.
Yes, as far as I'm
However,
aware,
some people do.
Okay.
I actually prefer hands-on. I haven't had it done, but I would say hands-on's fine for me. You know, so that would be my thoughts on it. So, because the other thing is, what happens in a Reiki session? You know, can do it sitting down, maybe in a comfortable chair. You could be in on one of those what do you call them? Where you lay down on it.
A bed,
Yeah,
a,
but, you know,
a
one of them,
gurney, a gurney.
the proper one with a hole in it, where you put your face in and all that stuff.
Toilet.
Toilet. No, not that at all. No.
A massage bed.
Yeah, I just can't think of the right name is for it, but obviously you could have it with music, or you could have it without music.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it depends on what you like and what's the best way to get you relaxed. Because that's what it's about at the end of the day. You've got to be relaxed when you're doing this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So there are around about, I think, 20 places around the body that they would do Reiki. Would that be about right?
Not 100%. I'm not too sure on that, but if you say
So,
so.
so in other words, it can last between 15 minutes and 90 minutes. I would suggest you pay quite a lot for 90 minutes, but and the other thing is that each position you're in, where the hands are, I mean, the position of the hands, you're going to be a couple of minutes, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 minutes, depending on the person. Some people might react it very quickly.
Well, it could be just a minor irritation more than anything serious, and then it's released very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that it is key for people to understand or to remember. It's not about understanding, because this is something that is inherent within us, but we need to remember this, is that you mentioned it just now about constantly moving the energy. And this is how everything around us, everything we have around us is energy constantly moving.
Yeah.
And so are we. But in our heads, we tend to stagnate.
Yeah.
Right? And we tend to not move, and we tend to not be in flow. And this is when, a simple practice like stretching, for example, is going to help release energy and keep the energy flowing through your system. Unfortunately, too many people today, simple stretching is not going to suffice. It will help, but it's not going to suffice enough, at least in the beginning. So if you do struggle with aches and pains and chronic issues that you've been living with for an extended period of time, injuries or niggles that just never got tended to and looked after, then go see a Reiki therapist. Go have a Reiki session. Let him or her open your energy portals out. Let them open the energy channels. Let them get the energy flowing through your system. Then start to go do some things like stretching or yoga or Pilates or exercise of some kind, mobility workout, these kind of things, so that you initiate the process by having a Reiki session with somebody.
Yeah. So really, Reiki can be done over the whole body. So we're talking about all 4 limbs, the head and the torso. So I suppose you get the overall movement of energy. I think that's the theory behind it.
Yeah.
So things like burns, you can use. It's been said that you can use it on burns.
Oh wow.
Obviously that probably wouldn't involve touching.
No touching.
It would be above the burn.
And speaking of this, not touching. I wonder if, and I'm sure that there are some practitioners out there that would be able to do it. Perhaps they're strong, they're powerful enough, but whether it can be done online, because in light of what's going on today with lockdowns and social distancing and all that, there are some healing methods that can be done distance-wise. So you can do it from a distance. You don't have to be there in person with the individual. But I wonder if Reiki could be applied in that way. I don't know.
Well, all I would say to that is keep an open mind, and the reason being is because how many times have we heard when one of a pair, a twins in trouble, could be halfway around the world, and the other one knows it.
Or they feel the pain. They feel the pain as well.
Yeah. So who knows?
Yeah.
As I said, it's like everything else. These things are, although some of it has thousands of years been going on, we're finding out more and more these days about things, in science and whatever else. And I think, and all I'm saying is that we should keep an open mind.
Yes, we should do.
And that's, I think that's very, very important, because years ago, many years ago, in certain countries, probably Great Britain being one of them, people have been burnt at the stake.
Oh yeah,
they've been burnt as witches. Doing that, and I mean, I didn't think Maggie Thatcher was that bad, but there you go. But years ago, when they had hue and cry and all that type of thing.
That poor lady, man.
Criminals. But yeah, they would have burnt people at the stake. So I don't look. We enjoy ourselves on here. We don't take that. Although this is, you could say it's a serious matter, but we have a bit of fun on here. All right. So we don't want to upset anyone. We're not downgrading or putting things down.
Degrading.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I mean, we're not. As I say, we're not here to upset anyone. We're just having a bit of fun as well. All right. So, but that's got nothing to do with Reiki as such. But yeah. So, what feeling did you get? Did you get a feeling when someone was doing Reiki on you?
Yeah, I could feel the energy. I could feel the energy moving between myself and the person that was healing. It was quite, and it was I had a knee problem, and this was actually, it was 2 occasions when somebody did Reiki on me. The one when I did the workshop, and the one was when I was in the UK, and I was living in the UK at the time, and a lady did Reiki healing on my knee. I had a knee injury, and she was doing Reiki healing on me, and she was the one that said to me that I've got the healing hands. This woman was amazing. She was, wow. I don't know if you've ever heard of, talking about energy and being able to work from a distance. She used to astral travel, but not just her and her 3 daughters. Yeah, so they could all do that. And I know for many people that's like a bit way out there, but when you got a family that can travel from one part of the globe to the next subconsciously and be in another place at the same time, that says something. There's something behind that.
On a lighter note, does that mean I don't have to have the jab?
No.
Yeah. I like, is that'd be the 5th one then? We've got what is it? We've got Oxford, we got the other ones, Moderna and all those, but now we can have Astral.
Astral,
yeah. Sounds good to me.
Well, you got AstraZeneca, so that's or something like that. That's close enough. Yeah.
So what I was going to say. So Reiki claims to be to enable relaxation, which I can see. I think that's an easy one to be able to say. Yeah, I can see that. If the person's relaxed enough and they're getting some benefit from it, I can see the relaxation work. But they say reducing pain, speed healing. Speed healing, yeah. Improving some symptoms of other things.
Yes.
I mean, Reiki has been criticised before for claiming to heal diseases without scientific evidence, but as I say, I think until you've had it done, you know, keep an open. As I say, I keep saying this, but keep an open mind. Try it out with the right attitude. Go in there and see if it works for you. You know.
And it's like anything, Paul. Anything's going to have a bad rap somewhere along the line.
Yeah, I think when it's early in this country.
Early doors.
I think it's early days in this country. All right, and that's why I said, you know, rather than be this skeptic who attacks everything and said this and that, whatever, you know, I mean, because we have enough going on in our lives with our, you know, with pain and illness and ill health, you know, and I think that we should just, and that's the reason to try things. I mean, I didn't believe in acupuncture until I did done.
Oh, acupuncture. Whew.
Yeah, but if you're not as well educated as you could be on a certain subject, you would tend to probably attack it or poo-poo it or whatever, you know. And I think that when someone suggested to me having it, and I had it done on my neck, but they don't just do the neck; they do all over. I think it's just pins everywhere. But and it doesn't hurt at all, and I actually found it good. You know,
It doesn't hurt if you don't move. I fell asleep. I used to go to this. I used to go to this therapist, and he was a horse masseuse. So he used to massage horses. Okay, race horses. And I used to go see this guy, and he used to do acupuncture on me.
Yeah.
And he used to use the golden needles. So you get silver needles and you get the gold needles.
Ah.
And sometimes he used to use the gold needles on my back, okay, on my hips and my back and stuff. And one day he left me on the table, and I fell asleep. So I'm lying there, and I've fallen asleep, and my head's down like this, and I'm probably snoring away or whatever. And I woke up, and I moved because I forgot. I didn't realize. I woke up and I forgot where I was, and I moved. And as I tried to sit up, lying down on my stomach, my whole body went, my whole lower body went into spasm. I was like, because those needles are in your right in the center, right in the nerve centers and everything. It was painful. Wow, it was painful. So just don't move if you ever go for acupuncture, please. Just stay still.
I won't move anyway, because I'll tell you the reason why I don't move for anything, because I like relaxing. I went. I can't remember the name of this place. I went to this place for relaxation in the desert, and I can't. Joshua Tree National Park.
Okay.
And we was in this big dome, and it's really well known in those circles, and very expensive. I think it was like $250 for. I don't know if that's just for one or you get 2 or 3 people with that, and they did the old sound bowls, you know, make the sound, and I fell asleep, started snoring. I fell asleep and started snoring. I had to get someone gave me a nudge to wake me up, but it relaxed me so quickly that I went off.
That happened to me. That happened to me in a group session once before, where we were doing a past life regression in a group of people, and we go down. We lay down, and we go into a deep meditative state. And I started snoring, and the people they couldn't stay focused on what they were on relaxing, you know. So people were getting annoyed because I was snoring the whole time, and I was gone. I was there already. But it was funny. Anyway.
I think it depends. See, I think it depends when you do these things as well, because I think you should do them as early in the morning as possible. You know, when you've woke up, you had a good night's sleep, and so your body's not going to fall asleep. You know, and I think this was later in the afternoon when I did this. So I'm you know, when you go through these the rhythms, you know.
Cycles, yeah.
Circadian rhythms, is it? I don't know, I can't remember what they call it, but
circadian.
And that was obviously one of my low points, because I needed a nap, so I had a power nap. It just spoilt everyone else's thing, you know. Not funny, really. I know. I can understand how having paid a lot of money, you know, but
It's funny. You don't know those people. It's funny. It doesn't matter.
but they're all, you know, flower people. So, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. I mean they were all nice people, and you know, and people that you would expect to meet in the flower power thing. And it's really lovely people to be around. Absolutely, you know, superb. And but they weren't like me, a tough old police officer. You know, where.
Yeah, you guys are the ones that need the therapy the most.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you. Absolutely. So that's why I'm so open to everything at the moment. So, but, yeah, anyway, yeah. So I think that people should give it a go. Really do.
I agree.
You know, I just think it's something you should try.
And I'm going to say this to anybody that's watching this now is go out and do some exploration for yourself. Discover who's near you in your area that you can go and see, or can come and see you. A therapist doesn't have to be Reiki, because you may not have a Reiki therapist in your area, but look who's in your area. Go discover which natural healers or alternative therapists are out there, and then explore and discover what it's all about if you've never done that before. And if you have, let us know what you've done before and how it worked out for you. I'm always curious to hear stories about that, like that, from people. You know, they've had certain therapies and what it's done for them, because not everybody's experience is the same. So, yeah.
So yeah. So the last thing I was mentioned about Reiki, and that's obviously during my research. And the question is Reiki harmful? Now, my first feeling would be, I can't see it ever being harmful. You know. I think from what I might have researched showed me that there's no harmful effects at all, right?
If done in the correct manner, but it's the same like cooking food. If you cook food with an angry intention, like in a displeasant, unpleasant manner, like if you're angry and you're upset and you're dark and everything like that, the food that's going to come out is not going to be the same food as if you're cooking it with love and for the pleasure of it. And it's the same with any type of healing. If you're healing somebody, but your intentions are not pure, this is energy we're talking about here. So there's going to be some discourse there. There's going to be something that's going to happen, you know. But if applied in its correct and pure way and intention, then I can't see any ill effects from it. No. What are their contraindications? Contraindications.
So as soon as we're allowed out of this lockdown, I'm going to go and find a Reiki person and go and have it done.
Yes. Start exploring now and make the appointment now.
Yeah, I could do, couldn't I?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
I know the date. Well, we think we know the dates when the lockdown's completely done.
17th of June.
Yeah, something like that. Or 17th of May, was it?
No, June, because I know from the rugby point of view, the Springboks and the Lions.
Oh, right. That's why they lifted it, you know, because of the Lions.
Yeah, the Lions tour. I think at the moment the Lions will be hosting the Springboks this time around. It won't be the other way around. But yeah, this is from the reports that I've been reading, is that the 17th of June they're going to be everything will be opened up. Yeah, fans will be allowed back in the stadiums and all that kind of stuff.
Just so everybody knows, because we have a lot of American people on our show, this isn't the Super Bowl. This is rugby union.
Yeah,
Lions are the British Lions.
Yeah.
The Springboks are the South African rugby team.
The Lions are the British and Irish.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I mean, I always incorporate them anyway. So
yeah,
I don't want to be incorporated, but
don't tell an Irishman that.
We get on great with the Irish, so you know. So I just assume it as family. So anyway, if you've got any questions about Reiki or anything else that we haven't covered or got wrong, please, you know, let us know. And what we'll do, we'll find out the true answers. And you know, but I thought we did okay. I think we did okay.
I think we did pretty well, considering that we don't really have that much knowledge on the subject, but I think we've done well enough for 40 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I wasn't looking at the clock, I've got to say. I was just sitting there chatting. So great. Well, we are back next Friday at 4 o'clock. So please come and join us. In the meantime, like, share, comment on our posts or on our page, like the page itself, and we'll keep doing these. And we enjoy doing what we're doing. We've got lots of things in the pipeline. Healthy life, which is starting to sprout and grow wings.
If you would like to be added to our private Facebook group, then just let us know, and we'll gladly add you to it, as long as you're a decent human being. But so as Paul said, we have plans, we have things in the pipeline. We're already working on plans afoot, and we're already working on things at the moment, on developing developing material for you folks out there, so that you can be better informed about health related aspects, wellness related aspects. And if you would like to make a change in your life, and you feel that now is the time to start taking your health seriously and being proactive about it rather than reactive about your health, then now is the right time for you to reach out to myself or Paul, and we will be more than happy to have a brief conversation with you. No strings attached. It will just be a discovery kind of interview, if you will. And in saying that, Paul and I would be more than happy to actually work with you and help you on a journey of discovering your true health and your true well-being, which we all deserve to experience and live.
Absolutely. Well, with that, we're going to end today's call. Thank you for attending, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Arrivederci. Have a beautiful weekend, everybody.
Yeah, have a great week. Cheers. Bye.